an incredible plague broke out in Sham. An incredible plague broke out in Sham. And the hadith in Bukhari, and it was a plague that affected some of the cattle. And the Prophet ﷺ, he'd warned about this plague. He said, there shall be a plague that shall come, that no Arab house shall be able to avoid. And it will be a plague that affects you as it does the cattle. Scholars and commentary of that hadith in Bukhari say that this infection, according to the hadith, the way it's been mentioned, will affect the mouth and feet of the cattle. And so we have the example of foot and mouth, but an ancient example occurring first with Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah. So this foot and mouth spread in Sham. Omar sent a letter to Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah to tell him, come to me now at once, as the Khalifa I command you. Because Omar was concerned that Abu Ubaidah might die. Abu Ubaidah wrote a letter back to say, I know very well what you want me for, but I shall stay here, for I'm in the Muslim army and I have no business to be concerned with coming into your presence. Omar sent a letter back. I command you again as the Khalifa of the Muslims to come to me. Abu Ubaidah sends back another reply. You've received my answer, and my answer is the same as it previously been. The plague spread to such a point that the groundwater became infected. And those that died include Mu'adh ibn Jabal, Yazid ibn Abi Sufyan, and Abu Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah, radiallahu anhu, the narrator of the hadith, that the one who dies of a plague is a shaheed. In fact, the Prophet ﷺ had told him that he would be a shaheed. So we see that hadith, whoever dies defending himself is a shaheed. Whoever dies defending his family is a shaheed. Whoever dies defending his property is a shaheed. Whoever dies in a fire is a shaheed. Whoever dies falling from a far place is a shaheed. Whoever dies drowning by himself is a shaheed. Whoever dies saving someone else who's drowning and drowns is a shaheed. Whoever dies from a plague is a shaheed. Whoever dies from a stomach illness is a shaheed. That hadith, Abu Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah is one of the narrators of it. He died 17 years after the Hijrah in the Khilafah of Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. He was devastated when Umar came to know of this, and the other companions, they were devastated. His grave now stays in Sham, near the place of Imwas. Imwas was the place that suffered the plague. And it stands there today, where people go to the grave of Amr ibn Abdullah ibn Al-Jarrah, better known as Abu Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah, and they visit his grave. Now there's a number of things we learn from Abu Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah that I want to share with you, because I think his example is brilliant. And here's what it is. Number one, we learn from Abu Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah, we learn from him consistency. He was there from the beginning, one of the early Muslims. And no matter what happened, no matter how hard things became, he was always there. Some of us, we're fine if we never get tested. But the moment we get tested, sometimes we lose our confidence or our resolve. But we have to take our example from Abu Ubaidah al-Jarrah. He said, no, I'm not going to lose my resolve. I'm going to hold on. Number two, he was selfless. Selfless means that you sacrifice yourself for the good of others, which is the flip side of what we're told now. What we're sometimes told now is, you got to look out for yourself. If you don't look out for yourself, who else will? That's what we're told now. And looking out for others or putting others' needs first is thought of as, well, he's never going to make it in life. He's a doormat. How's he going to make it in the world? Because he's always getting taken advantage of by people. But no, he was selfless. So what he didn't want, Abu Ubaidah ibn Al-Jarrah, was to go out of his land to infect other people as a possibility. So he preferred to stay where he was, as well as Mu'adh ibn Jabal, as well as Yazid ibn Abi Sufyan. We also learn from Abu Ubaidah al-Jarrah, we learn from him a word that I think is very important. It's called entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is where someone will be the inventor or the trendsetter of a particular thing. And they'll just carry it, and that will affect everything else, and they will become wealthy or well-known or famous for that thing that they've done. And whether it's something wicked or righteous, they become famous because they entrepreneured that thing. As Muslims, we have a lot of people who have great ideas, but not enough entrepreneurs. So there'll be that one Muslim brother, he'll get a good idea, and he'll open a takeaway. He will. And it'll be a successful takeaway. But 10 more takeaways will open after that. And the other takeaways will say, don't go to that first takeaway, he's no good. And they'll move against each other. What we have to do is to be entrepreneurial, to consider a different angle, to try to be the one that sets out something new. So he was a tracker, he was an archer, he was a footman, he was an infantryman, he had all these different characteristics about him. You have to think out of the box, what do I want to do? How can I be different than the status quo? We need a hospital, we need a dentistry, we need so many different things. How can you be part of that? He was an entrepreneur. I mean, if you just think about one thing that's affected people, right? I saw it happen here. You had one guy that had come from the West Coast to New York City, in Brooklyn. And he was the first one to come to New York City with the pants sagging. No one in New York did that. No one. And people here who like to style themselves junior New Yorkers with the New York hats, they started following them. And now what happens? Well, all the automatons and idiots here are doing what? Sagging their pants. Like all the automatons and idiots in New York. Why? Because of that one guy that came from California with saggy pants. That happened in 2003. I could tell you the name of the guy that brought it too, but I won't waste your time. One guy who did that. Just that one harmful thing. So now you've got people who have a perpetual pants problem. They're always pulling them up. They have a perpetual pants problem. Either they're always having accidents so their pants are saggy, or they need a belt. But that's something harmful. Now think of something entrepreneurial in this way. 19-year-old kid in the US wants to form his own business, thinking of a way to do it, starts up a mail order envelope business, just delivering envelopes. Everyone needs envelopes. He's a millionaire at 21. Think in 1985, the Apple computer, the orange cursor, orange writing, couldn't turn the computer on at night, took 3 hours to warm up when you did turn it off and turn it off. There's a guy at home with his glasses diagonally crooked on his face. He's in Seattle, Washington. His mother tells him, Bill, if you don't get a job in the next couple of months, you're out. 2 months later, Microsoft was invented. He's on the cover of Business Week magazine. Torn sweater, coffee stains on it. With the caption, "This is the new face of business." He's worth $53.2 billion now. Entrepreneurship came out of nowhere. What can we do? We've got ideas. We've got brilliant minds amongst us. We can do the same thing. Think of something different that nobody has.